Hello, it is Jamie J, and I am the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Virtual Assistants. Let me see if I can sit over this way a little bit so you can see the logo right there. Bottleneck Virtual Assistants, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business. So, so many people I've heard this from. I cannot possibly work remotely. I cannot work from home. How can I have anybody work remotely? And through an unforeseen and unfortunate set of circumstances, we find ourselves in a predicament where many of us are having to work from home. So I'm here to kind of help talk about some things that you might be able to do to help improve your productivity while you're working remotely. And meanwhile, this is something we've been doing for quite some time, for several years now, and it's worked unbelievable for us. So for all of those out there that say it's impossible, or not impossible, but just not good business sense to work from home, I disagree. And I want to share some of the things that have let us be successful and some of the things that I've learned along the journey. So this is happening, this whole shutdown and everything with the coronavirus and all that stuff. And if you're watching this video at a later time, the 5 tips that I'm going to be talking to you about today will still be relevant, because these are the same 5 things that I've introduced and worked with in this company remotely for the last several years, and they've really, really helped out. So I'm going to go through these 5 tips. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and you can send an email to info@bottleneck.online. And bear with me one second while I get this set up here. Hello to everyone. I just want to make sure I can see this. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. But here we go. I'm going to dive into these 5 tips. Number 1, you want to make sure that you have good internet. You want to have good internet connectivity. The higher the speed, the better. But you also want to have redundancy built in. So I highly encourage you, if you can hardwire in at your location, hardwire in, plug it right straight in with the Cat5 or the Ethernet cable there, as opposed to going to Wi-Fi. This does a couple things. It offers more power. Everything will be faster. Everything will be clear. There's less likelihood that someone can hack into your system there, whereas on Wi-Fi, people can just get into your Wi-Fi and steal stuff. So you want to be cognizant of that. The second thing is video conferencing. Video conferencing is a very powerful tool. We conduct all of our meetings with video conferencing, and we use Zoom. Now, there's a ton of different software out there. There's GoToMeeting, there's Facebook, and there's all kinds of ways. Facebook, I think it's called Messenger, or I forget what it calls. But there's all kinds of different ways to do it. We love Zoom. What's nice about Zoom is we can change our background here. I have a green screen that was, I think, $30 or something like that from Amazon. And with the technology of Zoom, I can pay for the service. I think it's 14 or 15 bucks a month. I don't remember. But then we have lights that we put on here. They're not on now, but we can make it really nice. And then that way you won't have to worry about seeing all the crazy messes and all that kind of stuff, but it's very professional. It lets you know what's going on. Zoom's really, really easy to do. You just go into your Zoom settings, and then you go into virtual background, and you can upload images. You can use the 1 or 2 images that they have there, but it's just a really, really neat thing. And it makes life pretty easy. And as you can see, if I go back while I'm chatting with you here, I'm on in the virtual background for Zoom. You can see I can change out my backdrop. So if I want to go and talk about my podcast, I can talk about my podcast and use different colors. If I want to look like I'm in a studio, I can do this. Here's a picture of an office that I can be in, Bottleneck Medical. So there's a bunch of neat and creative ways that you can have a lot of fun with and maintain your brand integrity while you're using Zoom. Okay, the third step is make sure that you have a dedicated workplace. This is really, really important. When you're working remotely, there can be some adjustments. There will be some adjustments if you have a family, if you have a pet. You could be in a very important meeting and little Johnny runs up, or your puppy comes running in, and that's the time he's wanting to play and have fun. Make sure that you can get a dedicated workspace where you can kind of control the environment with regards to not only closing the door, things like that, but maybe closing the windows. As you can see here, I'm in a dedicated workplace. I've got a lighting system just above me. So if I really want to get into this thing, I can flip the lights on, I can close the curtains in front of me, and it looks a little bit warmer in here, and I'm not as washed out as I am right now. Which I probably should have done before making a video. But that's one of the things that you really need to focus on. Make sure you have a dedicated workspace. Along with making sure that you have a dedicated workspace, you need to communicate. If you have family, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, if you're living with, brothers, sisters, friends, whatever, communicate with them that you are indeed working from home, and that you're gonna be having some meetings, and if they can be respectful of the times that you're allocating for these meetings, it's going to really, really help out. And communicating is the number one thing, so that they kind of understand what it is that you're going to be doing. The other cool thing is, and this happened to me a while back, so we had the mower that used to come out on Mondays, and he always seemed to be mowing when I was on a meeting or something like that. So I asked the lawnmower, what time will he come? And I made sure to block that time out so that I wouldn't be interrupted by the lawnmower. And then I went and got some thicker curtains and all that kind of stuff to kind of block out the noise. Some food for thought there. Okay, the next thing is, and this may not seem as important, but the next thing is show up. What do I mean by show up? I want to send out a quick shout out to Zat Baraka, because we were talking this morning. Zat's one of our amazing clients here at Bottleneck, and he's got some incredible things going on with his coaching. He's a men's coach. And one of the things that we were talking about this morning was just show up. What does that mean? Well, before you go out to your office, do you just go to your office in your pajamas and your, your boxers, your briefs, or whatever, however you wake up? Well, there is this big thing going around that, hey, if you're working from home and you're on Zoom, you look good up here, but maybe you're wearing your boxers down below. And I've been guilty of that before, yes. But take the time, take a shower, brush your teeth, have your morning coffee, get some breakfast, do some exercising, get cleaned up, get presentable. This is presentable for me, so don't use me as an example, but prepare to show up. And I think what you'll find when you show up, you're dressed to the nines, or whatever makes you feel good, and everything else will be a little bit more productive. You'll actually be prepared to do some work. So that commute, instead of driving from home to your office, may be a commute to your coffee maker, and then to this designated workspace or dedicated workspace. All the same, prepare to show up every single day. And the last thing that I would encourage you to do, there's a lot more, but these 5 things today, is take the time now to invest in your business and document everything you're doing. This is almost 6 things. It's almost 2 separate things, but I tried to squeeze it in because I like 5 better. What I mean by that is, many people are going to be afraid to invest in their business when it's kind of a iffy kind of future that's going on. You have to be smart about this and make sure that you're doing a good job, but continue your marketing and talk to people about what it is that you're doing, and try to find people that are experience similar things that you are, to keep that conversation moving forward. And so you'll be surrounding yourselves with like-minded people. And that's what you need. You need to have a community when you're working remotely, because you're isolated. So it could be challenging for some of us who are very social beings, but it doesn't have to be. You can still have accountability. You can still have community through Facebook Lives and through Zoom meetings and things like that while you're protecting yourself and staying healthy. And when I say document everything, what I've found working remotely is that it's almost forced me to process out our systems here, and by documenting everything, because we're not sitting next to each other. And here's what it really does for you. When you document something, you're now able to delegate or hand off tasks to people, and they're not going to have to guess what it is you want them to do. And so those are my 5 tips, of 5.5, maybe 6 tips for you when you're working remotely. And I hope you enjoyed that. So number 1 is internet. Have a good internet connection. Number 2 is get a good video conferencing, and Zoom, by the way, can also be free. I think it's up to 40 minutes when you have 3 or more people on there. Or it's unlimited when there's just 2 of you. So that might be a good option for you. Then there's the dedicated workspace. Make sure you have a nice dedicated workspace. Show up and get dressed, be ready to go for the day, get your exercise in or whatever you need to do. And then the 5th, maybe 5.5, is invest in your business right now and document everything that you're doing. As you'll find, documenting when you're in a remote environment is going to be much more critical in obtaining your goals and objectives for the day. So hope you enjoyed this Facebook Live. Thank you to my beautiful wife. Hey, Andrew Arnold, how's it going? Thank you to my beautiful wife, Sarah, for motivating me to make this video. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, info@bottleneck.online. And let me see, you can visit us at bottleneck.online. And other than that, stop the bottleneck in your business. Chances are, you very well could be you that is the bottleneck. And a lot of us hate hearing that, but I know I sure am sometimes. Okay, it's Jamie J with Bottleneck Virtual Assistants. Have a great day, and hope this video helped.